Welcome back, Raider Nation, to the Raider D podcast here out on the Raider Ranch, where we are now full-time and we are still building out the new Raider studio. So stay tuned for that, as we will have the grand reveal in maybe a month or so when it is finally complete. Until then, I am in the cabin's kitchen, so please excuse the background. Today we're going to get into a couple of things, and those are big rumors regarding the Las Vegas Raiders, and that is Russell Wilson coming to the Raiders, reuniting with his former Super Bowl coach in Pete Carroll, now that he is the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders, and Maxx Crosby being unhappy with the Raiders situation and wanting out and requesting a trade. So we're going to go ahead and address both of these rumors and why they may be true and why I don't think they will happen. Let's get into that and more. But before we get started, just want to thank today's sponsor of the video. These videos are not possible without our sponsors, so thank you to Southern New Hampshire University for being a sponsor of the channel. Guys, if you are looking for an online college degree that is fully accredited and affordable, go ahead and click the link down in the description to Southern New Hampshire University. They have a plethora, and I know that is a big word. I learned it in college. They have a plethora of college degrees available for you over there. Go ahead and fill out the form for whatever it is that you are interested in. They will get in touch with you and walk you through step by step to see whether or not it's good for you. No obligations. Go ahead, hit that link down in the description. Now let's get into today's video. I want to address the quarterback situation with Russell Wilson first. There are a lot of rumors, and I mean a lot of rumors. There are insider reports that the Raiders are interested in Russell Wilson in the free agency. Mind-boggling, because I don't understand it. They weren't interested when he was basically free last year, but now you want to go and pay him $30 million a year just to reunite with Pete Carroll. So there is some smoke to this, right? According to the people that I talked to, there is some factual truth that there is an interest in the building, but it is not universal. There are some factions within the building that are interested in Russell Wilson, and there are some that are not. And let's talk about why I don't think that this will ever happen. Number one, Russell Wilson requested a trade from Seattle. And when he was requesting that trade, he basically put an ultimatum to the ownership of the Seahawks saying, either you fire Pete Carroll and the general manager, or I want to trade, right? So he put a huge ultimatum to the ownership, and this caused a ton of friction within that organization. And of course, when you're asking to have your Super Bowl champion Hall of Fame coach Pete Carroll to be fired, as well as the GM, or you want out, that is prima donna bar none. Like that is like the biggest insult that you could possibly do, because you're trying to end somebody's career, whereas your career is not ended. You're going to keep playing, but you're asking them to end his career. And especially with the general manager, because they typically don't get a second chance. Once you're a general manager, if you get fired, that's pretty much it. You're done. That's it. It's not going to happen again. A coach, maybe you can rebound from that, but general managers typically don't get second chances, unlike our general manager we just had last year, who only got 1 year. Don't expect to ever see him as a general manager again. So because of this situation, and Pete Carroll now being the head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders and, new general manager John Spytek, I honestly don't believe that there is any chance whatsoever that Pete Carroll would be okay with having Russell Wilson come to the team. Period. I mean, listen, he got to the playoffs with Pittsburgh, but he only played half of a season. The first half of the season was played by Justin Fields, and he did remarkably well, best year of his career, and then he gets benched because, again, they didn't want to give up another additional pick to Chicago for him if he played over 6 games. So they went ahead and they benched him. They put Russell Wilson in. They made the playoffs. They got taken out of the playoffs. Done, data, it's over. So Russell Wilson didn't show to me that he has superstar ability. And if you're just bringing in another bridge quarterback, for what? Because you're not going to win with Russell Wilson. You're not going to go and win a Super Bowl with Pete Carroll and Russell Wilson. First of all, there's bad blood there. Second of all, he's just not that good anymore. So why not just stick with Aiden O'Connell as your bridge quarterback if you're not going to get a quarterback at all anyway? But here's the kicker and why this could actually happen. So apparently after all was said and done, Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll put water under the bridge, bygones be bygones, and they've made up, right? Kisses and hugs, everybody's happy. They got ultimate respect for each other. And so it could be a 0.001% chance that Russell Wilson could somehow work his way back in with the Raiders with Pete Carroll. But again, honestly, whether or not they've put water under the bridge and they have respect for each other and what they've done in their careers, I honestly don't think that Pete Carroll wants to go back and have Russell Wilson as his quarterback. I think Pete Carroll came and took this job because he wants he wants to build something here. And just bringing back a retread quarterback from the past and trying to do something with that, that's not what Pete Carroll's legacy is. Pete Carroll he goes to an organization, he builds it into a championship team, and then he goes to another one. So he was at USC, then he goes to Seattle, right? And now he's with the Raiders. I just don't think that he's going to want to retread and rehash the old Seahawks team. I think that you'd probably be better off, statistically, you're better off just keeping Aiden O'Connell as your bridge quarterback. He is a serviceable starting quarterback. He's not a great starting quarterback. He's not a superstar. But who knows? He could maybe develop if he actually gets the nod, if he gets the confidence from his head coach that you are my starter from the gate, period. And he gets an entire season. Who knows? Maybe Aiden O'Connell throws up 4,500 yards, 35 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions and has a Sam Darnold type of year. And this is, again, why I don't think the Raiders should go out and get Sam Darnold. Because I think if you give the same amount of snaps and you give a really good run game and offensive line, Aiden O'Connell can put up the same numbers that Sam Darnold did. So why pay Sam Darnold $30 million a year when you can invest that in the offensive line? You can invest that in the offense. You can invest that in the defense and then just let Aiden O'Connell be your bridge quarterback. Let me know if you agree or disagree about whether or not the Raiders should just keep Aiden O'Connell as a bridge quarterback and see what he's got for this year under Pete Carroll. If we don't get Shedeur Sanders, Cam Ward, or another quarterback. I know Jackson Dart is moving up in the boards too, so that's another possibility that the Raiders could do. We'll see what happens with that. Drop your comments. Let me know how you guys feel about that. Now let's get into the Maxx Crosby cryptic messages and trade rumors that are swirling around with him. This has been happening every offseason for the past 2 years since he made the statement that all options are on the table if Antonio Pierce is not named head coach. Let me just say this. I know that Maxx Crosby has said some things and he has left the possibility out there to be traded because he wants to be great and he wants greatness and he wants a Super Bowl ring to his career. And he's looking at it right now and he's probably thinking, man, this isn't the place I'm going to get it. This is not going to happen for me here. So he's throwing out these cryptic messages. But here's why I think that this is not going to happen. This is why I don't think Maxx Crosby gets traded. Number one, Mark Davis loves Maxx Crosby. He is buddies with Maxx Crosby. They go to games together, like their women's basketball games and their ice hockey games. Like they go to events together. They hang out. They have dinner. They smoke cigars together. Whatever they do, buddy, right? So I don't think that Mark Davis would be okay with the new general manager, John Spytek, trading him away. Even if he requested one, I think Mark Davis would intervene and go to him like, dude, what do you want? We just gave you a $6 million bonus last year. You want guaranteed money? Fine. Boom. There you go. Here's $20 million guaranteed. I don't care. Just stay with the team. I think that's what Mark Davis would do. Now, only Mark Davis knows what he would do. Only God knows what Mark Davis would do, because sometimes I don't think Mark Davis even knows what he's going to do. But I just don't see Mark Davis allowing that to happen. The number two reason why I don't think that it will happen, and why I think that all of these rumors are a little bit overblown, even though I made a video saying that it might be time to go ahead and trade him if he requests one. But General Manager John Spytek put out a statement in the past, and he basically said that you do not trade good players, you do not let them out of the building, and you definitely do not let good pass rushers out of the building. Period. Bar, stop, end, that's it. Finished. Right? So If that's his philosophy, you have one of the best defensive ends, one of the best pass rushers who gets the most pressures on quarterbacks year after year after year, even when he's injured. I don't see John Spytek coming in and saying, well, the first move that I'm going to make in my administration here with the Las Vegas Raiders is to get rid of the heart of the team, the best pass rusher in the NFL right now. I know he had a down year with the injuries, but he is still, when healthy, Maxx Crosby is an absolute wrecking ball out there on the field. I just don't see John Spytek putting that stamp on his name of trading away the Raiders' best defensive end since Khalil Mack. In fact, I think what you do as John Spytek is you make sure that he's happy, you give him some more guaranteed money, and then you go and you add some more depth to that defensive line, like maybe signing Khalil Mack to the Raiders. Obviously, you also want to re-sign Malcolm Koonce and Clavion Chason. All three of these dudes are going to get you 6, 7, 8 sacks per season. And with injuries happening the way that they happen, you need to have depth at that defensive end line, because if you don't have depth at defensive end and your star Maxx Crosby goes down or Malcolm Koonce goes down again, whatever, if you don't have depth at defensive end, you don't have pass rush. And if you don't have pass rush, you don't win games. So I do believe that John Spytek will not only make sure that Maxx Crosby is super happy, but also he'll go and he'll add some depth in the free agency as well as maybe in the draft, so that we have more pass rush ability moving forward into 2025 NFL season with Pete Carroll and this defense that he's going to bring to the Raiders. Now, here's why it may happen. It could very well end up being that Maxx Crosby has already made his mind up. With the cryptic tweets and messages and Instagram posts and stuff like that, it could very well be that he has already made his mind up. And we know about Maxx Crosby is once he makes his mind to something, that's it. Like, he is laser locked and focused on it. If that is the case, there may be no salvaging Maxx Crosby with the Raiders. He may just straight up be like, I want $80 million guaranteed money and a 10-year contract or a 5-year contract extension, whatever it may be, or I'm gone. End of story, no negotiation. This is my offer to you, and if you don't accept it, I'm out of here. In that situation, you could see Maxx Crosby get traded, and if so, I hope it happens in the offseason and not during the season like with Davante Adams, where we don't get very much for him. However, with that being said, I don't believe Maxx Crosby would do that. I think he just wants some guaranteed notion that, one, he's going to get some more guaranteed money, a contract extension, and that the Raiders are going to be serious about bolstering this team. And it could be maybe the Raiders move up and try and sell the farm to get Shedeur Sanders, who is still very high on the Raiders draft list. But if that is the case, the Raiders are going to give up a lot for a guy who is not an elite quarterback. He is a good quarterback. He is super accurate quarterback. 75% completion rating. Phenomenal. But he is not elite. He's not elite athletically, doesn't have an elite arm strength. But he does read the field pretty well, and he has a pure passing motion, and he's very accurate. But for me, I don't think you sell the farm for a guy like that. You should have sold the farm for Jaden Daniels last year. And as we know now, they didn't try. So I think Maxx Crosby is going to be in a difficult place, because I still don't think we're going to have that star quarterback this year, and we may not have it next year either. But the Raiders could go and draft a couple guys. Maybe we draft Jackson Dart. Maybe we draft Jalen Milroe, some project guys, and see how they do. Aiden O'Connell gets the start. Let me know your thoughts down below, how you guys feel about that with the quarterback situation. Maxx Crosby maybe or maybe not being traded, and Russell Wilson coming to the Raiders. Look forward to all your comments. I'll respond to as many as I can. Make sure you've hit that like. Make sure you hit that subscribe. We are on our way to 11,000 subscribers. Let's go, Raiders!